You know, when a system that's built for total control suddenly decides to simplify, you gotta ask why? What's going on there? Today, we're gonna unpack exactly that. We're looking at Saudi Arabia's pharmaceutical tracking system and a really fascinating strategic shift it's made. And trust me, it's about a lot more than just tracking medicine. It's a story about evolving from complex traceability to smart, focused verification.
I mean, it's a question we've all probably thought about, right? When you go pick up a prescription, you're basically putting your trust in this long, invisible chain. You're trusting that the medicine is real, that it's been handled correctly all the way. So, how do we actually guarantee that trust? Well, in Saudi Arabia, the answer is a pretty sophisticated national system. And the heart of it all is this system called RSD, which stands for RASED. Now, this was built by the Saudi Food and Drug Authority. You'll hear them called the SFDA, and its whole purpose was to lock down the entire journey of a pharmaceutical product, right from the moment it's made to the second it gets into a patient's hands. So to really get where things are today, we've got to rewind a bit. Let's take a look at the original blueprint, the plan they laid out back in 2019, which was all about this idea of full end-to-end traceability. The original model was, well, incredibly thorough. Okay, so picture this. First off, every single box of medicine gets its own unique serial number, kind of like a fingerprint. Then, all those individual boxes are electronically linked, or aggregated, into bigger cartons, and those cartons are linked into pallets. As this stuff moves through the supply chain, every time it changes hands, that move gets logged using this data standard called 𝐓𝐫𝐶IS, and the whole thing wraps up when the pharmacy scans that original serial number on the box. The goal? Complete, super detailed visibility every single step of the way. But then, something changed. The SFDA made a really strategic shift. They didn't just scrap the system, they evolved it. And this wasn't about fixing something that was broken, not at all. It was about making it smarter, more efficient, and really focusing on the most critical points of control. They moved from tracking everything, everywhere, to a model that's all about smart verification. And this slide, wow, it just lays it all out perfectly. Just look at the 2019 model on the left. See that? It's like this complex web, right? Reporting every single box, every carton. Now, look over at the 2024 model on the right. It's a straight shot. The focus isn't on tracking every little movement anymore. Instead, it's about verifying the entire shipment with three key pieces of info: the product code, the batch number, and how much of it there is. They went from asking, where is every single little box, to a much smarter question, is this entire shipment the real deal? Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does this new logic actually work on the ground? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of the 2024 verification model. And honestly, the real genius here is in what they kept. They didn't throw the whole thing out. The two most important parts, kind of like the bookends of the whole process, they're still there. Manufacturers still put a unique serial number on every product at the start, and pharmacies still scan that same serial number at the very end. The big change, the simplification, happens right in the middle. That whole mid-chain part is now streamlined to just the essentials: the product, the batch, and the quantity. The system is also pretty clever in how it handles different kinds of products. So for anything made right there in Saudi Arabia, the manufacturer reports the shipment directly into the RSD system the moment it heads out the door. Simple enough. But for imported medicines, the international company sends the data over ahead of time. Then the local agent is the one who officially logs it into the system once it actually physically lands in the country. All right, let's zoom out for a second. We've seen the what and the how, but what about the why? Why does this whole evolution from traceability to verification really matter? What's the endgame here? And this is the big payoff. It all comes down to empowering the most critical link in the entire chain, the pharmacy. See, by cutting out all that extra data noise from the middle of the supply chain, the SFDA could focus all its energy on what truly counts, that final checkpoint. They started working directly with pharmacy groups, driving home the point that when a pharmacist scans that box, it's not just some procedural step. No, it's the final, crucial act of verification that closes the loop and keeps the patient safe. So really, the story of Saudi Arabia's RSD system is this amazing case study in being smart and adaptable. It teaches us that the goal isn't just to have technology, it's to fine-tune it to be as sharp and effective as possible. And it leaves all of us with a big question to think about. As our world gets more and more connected, what's going to be the next frontier for keeping these vital supply chains that we all depend on secure? We really hope this explainer helped clear things up a bit on this pretty important evolution. Because, understanding how these systems work is really key to trusting the safety and integrity of the medicines we all rely on.